Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox video, and today we're going to be creating another custom solar system and evolving it from birth to death. So if you've not seen this series before, it's pretty self-explanatory. We make a system and then once it is complete, we start to increase the brightness and luminosity of the stars, make them bigger, and see how the system evolves over time till it inevitably dies once the star becomes a red giant, explodes, and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's hop straight into this. And I believe this is the first one we're actually doing in 2024. It's been long overdue for today's episode. It has definitely been long overdue, and we've had a lot of other bits and pieces in the meantime in between. But yeah, it's about time we got to do another one. So, star-wise, who are we thinking? We're going to obviously start with a star we'll eventually build as a proto-star. So I'm thinking maybe Former B. How big are you? So you're actually a smaller star. Okay, what about A? So we could use Former. I think we use I believe we used Former A before. But let's use it for today. So it's a white star. But obviously what we're going to do is, since we're creating a system from the past, effectively we're going to devolve this star down to a proto-star, or effectively to its very beginnings. So what we're going to do is, mass we're going to leave alone. The mass will always stay the same. So what I'm going to do is radius, we're going to go to density, and we're going to lock the mass. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make the star maybe half the size. So now it's a baby star. Maybe the luminosity is a little, or the brightness and luminosity are also cut down. So you can see the luminosity is a lot dimmer as well. That's cool. So we will see how that turns out over time. So immediately, I'm going to throw a save in, and we'll call it B to D. So birth to death. Save. It already exists. Okay. We'll just call it 24 for now then, as the first one of the year. So here we go. And a lot of people have been asking for this as well, because I know this is I know a lot of you guys really enjoy this. I know it's pretty popular. And I tell you what, these are really fun to make as well. So, yeah, definitely long overdue. Right, star is in. So, if we look at the zone, this is only a proto-star zone now, because as you can see, the original star would be a lot bigger. Now, planets. This is the first one we're doing in the terraforming update as well. So, I'm very keen to see what sort of planets we can come up with for this system. So, let's have a look here. So, random rocky. I'm thinking this one, we're not going to use any saved presets like we have before when we go into the customs. I'm going to completely build all of these from scratch and see what we come up with. So, first of the planets, we're going to place one there. So I think we're having, where are we? So put the zones, or orbits on, and the zone. So, right. And obviously we're going to customize all these. It's a fully custom system as well. So we can customize all of these before we start to actually evolve anything. So, there you go. Oh, okay, I'm not keen on the eccentric orbits as ready, because these systems are built to evolve themselves, so we're actually going to lower that and get rid of that completely. I don't want those being inclined to begin with. But over time, they will naturally evolve themselves, so the orbits will change. That's the thing with these systems. So I'm thinking maybe 4 in the Rockies, so kind of like our own system. Or maybe we'll go 5 in the Rockies. So I'm going to go with, we'll have 2 quite similar. So kind of like an Earth and Fire kind of design there. I'm going to put those 2 similar. Then I'm going to have a 5th one over here. And then a gas giant on the, so instead of being Jupiter, where it's a little further out in the system, I'm going to place this gas giant within sort of reasonable distance of the inner solar system. So I'm going to place it there. So that's our inner. I think I'm going to go with that for our inner system. Then next up, outer system, so maybe we have a bit of a gap, or maybe we just have it all as one continuous system. Maybe we don't have an outer system, so we're going to go with 2 gas giants. So I'm going to place one there and then one here. And I think I'm going to make this one here the dominant gas giant, so that'll be the biggest mass one. Then we'll go with a few more random Rockies, so further out. So I'm going to go maybe 1. So this is 35 AU from the start now. So 1, 2. I'm going to have 3 Rockies there, and then I'm going to have maybe another gas giant on the outer reaches, so 45 AU away, and then maybe a final 50th gas giant at the far edges. Maybe a little further out as it forms further out. And then random moons, we're going to have a bunch of random dwarf planets in the outer parts as well. So I'm just going to fill up a lot of the system with these. These ones we may not necessarily customize, but we'll see how we do. So, that's a rough beginning to our system here. So, closest planet is currently sitting at, where are we, motion, yep. So, where's the stats I'm looking for? Ah, here we go. So, 0.8 AU roughly as the closest point. So, it's not as close as, I mean, that's roughly 0.8 AU. I mean, we're looking almost at a Venus kind of orbit there. Next planet out, we've got more of a, where are we? So we're more of a Mars distance. So maybe we could squeeze another rocky in there. Then we've got taking a big gap to the 2 planets over here. This one's already got conditions. Okay, so we can definitely build off that. That's 4 AU away, so this will freeze over time. Okay. Maybe we do have one more. Maybe we do squeeze one more rocky. I think there's a spot for one more rocky in there. Maybe we make it around a moon. Maybe it's a smaller world. We're going to place it there. Okay, right. That's our system in stone. Cool. And what I normally do in these systems is, one thing we normally do is, when a system forms, everything's usually quite hot. So what we're going to do is, to represent the planet's forming, it's usually in simulation settings, we turn up the background temperature. So, everyone's going to be quite warm. So, 600 degrees, maybe make it 13, maybe make it about 1,000 degrees background temperature. So, as the planets form, they're all going to be quite hot. So, our new star is here. And we've got our planets that have all formed around it. So there we go. Cool. And effectively we could add a massive asteroid belt as a planetary disk, but we've already kind of spawned the planets. So that kind of defeats the purpose of it, so we won't do that on this occasion. So there we go. So now if we look at our system, it's all functioning quite nicely, but we haven't actually got to the customization yet. So effectively the planets are still in a formation kind of mode. So there you go. So everyone's forming. They're all pretty hot. So now we're going to get to maybe customizing some of the... So the gas giants are normally... So we can already see there's changes happening. So that is something... Once they're locked in, they're locked in. We are not changing any orbits whatsoever. Now, was that involved with the 2 planets that had similar orbits? Because if you remember, 2 of the planets had very, very close together orbits. And I believe it was these 2 here. So this guy here, I believe it was these 2 that they had similar orbits, but it looks like they've already said no to that and they have broken out. Very interesting. Okay, so this is the first of the gas. No, that's a rocky. Okay, never mind. I think the first is that one, isn't it? Or is it? No, which one is it then? Is it this one? That's the first of the gas giants. So 25 masses of Earth. Okay. So we'll get to the color customizing. Right now, I'm mainly just looking at the size of these objects. So how much is that in Jupiter? So 0.0. So maybe I may double that a little more, 0.1 Jupiters, okay, a little bit more. So in Earth, that's 51, okay. So not even a Saturn there, okay. Then the next one out, and actually, so we know which one's which, I'm going to mark that as a colour, so we know that's a gas giant. So this will be the dominant gas giant here. So I'm going to make this guy a little more extreme. 0.939 Jupiters, so that'll be our dominant gas giant. So not the largest gas giant ever, but, you know, still the one with the most mass. Or maybe we do double it. Do we? Maybe a little bit. I'm going to do 1.33. I think that's fair. 7 masses or radius of Earth. That's actually a little smaller than Jupiter, but it is more massive, which is the main thing. So that'll be causing a bit of trouble there in the future of the system. Now it's got its mass. Okay, so dominant gas giant. Obviously, we're going to give you a nice colour as well, so you stand out. Then we've got the more rocky planets further out that form in between the gas giants and the ice giant. So this will be an ice giant, so we're going to immediately mark that as blue. 0.449 Jupiter mass, so it's a slightly larger, but we're going to leave that alone. I think we're going to have a more dominant presence in the outer solar system as well. And then the second ice giant is this one here. So we've got 2 gas worlds, 2 ice giants. So we'll give this a blue trail as well for now, so we know to come back there later. And then the rest of these are all dwarfs, aren't they? Okay, cool. So we're going for a more simple system on this occasion, compared to previous ones where we have had a lot of crazy stuff. But, you know, we're building all this from scratch this time. We're not having any preset planets spawned in on this one. So it gives us more opportunity to really get in-depth customization. So, play. So we'll let this... Now everyone's got the ideal mass I want. We're going to let the simulation run and see if there's any changes before everything cools down after the formation phase. So let's see how we... let's let it run for a bit. So you can already see it. Orbits are changing over time. You can already see it. One of the orbits is already in a very seriously bad condition there, and we're going to see it. That orbit is not looking too great, so it could get ejected. It could be the first ejection of the system. For all we know, that is a very, very dangerous orbit it is living in there, so not good. Okay, so the orbit is relatively stable stuff so far. Okay, so we'll see about that though. Okay, so slow down time. I think we've let it had a bit of a thought. We've run 7,000 years of simulation time. Let's go up to 10,000. Give it a real good run-in before we start adding more or customizing the objects. This is still the formation phase. So, there we go. So, 10,000 years. Yep. Okay. Cool. So, now what we'll do is simulation. Open the menu up. We are now going to cool down the background temperature back down to effectively 0. So, all the way down to absolutely nothingness. Just put it to 0. Absolute 0. There you go. Or was it normally? It's all going to be a little higher than that, but that's fine because the starlight will obviously warm them up. So there you go. So everyone's cooled down and we are officially formed. You can already see it. This guy's got a retrograde orbit. It's going around the wrong way. Look. Okay. Interesting stuff indeed. So the first of the planets here. So this is a world that's probably not going to last a long time. Once the star expands, this world is not going to be doing too great. It's already got some nice craters on it, so it kind of represents it. This is going to be a Mercury kind of world. You can already see that from a mile off it. That's kind of what this is going to be. It's got no atmosphere either. Obviously, we can add atmospheres if we wish, but on this instance, no. So, turn the train up. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Right, now colours. I would like to customise you, please. So map and... Oh, no, hang on. No, we want elevation and then custom. There you go. So, a basic rocky world. I mean, it's a Mercury at heart. So, we're obviously going to give it Mercury kind of like design and colouring. So, make that a little more orange. Just go more of a brownish shade. Maybe a little deeper brown. Yeah, makes it more interesting. Darken those out and then maybe some whiter marks. Maybe make them, instead of white, we'll make them more of a grey shade that blends in nicely together. So there's your first rocky world. So pretty basic build, but that's all it's going to be. So there you go. That is our first one. It's an interesting name. Italian Customer. Is that a new name? I don't think I've seen this auto-generated name before. I'm not sure. Don't recognise it. Maybe they added some more. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. So, first of the rocky worlds there. Okay, next up we got Kupisi over here. Now, you. What I want to do here is I want to have a little experiment with the sulfur dioxide, because we haven't really added this to anything yet. So add moon materials, that's a new button that's added. So sulfur, I'm going to add a bit of U in. So I'm going to add in maybe 1 moon mass worth of sulfur dioxide. We're going to make this world pretty nasty. We're also going to give it some carbon dioxide. So we're going to go 0.25 moons of carbon dioxide. And we're going to settle down all of these elements. So we're going to stabilize the phases. Equalize the gas. Settle liquid, melt all. Equalize gas, settle liquid. Okay, so we should start to see an atmosphere. Should be emerging on this guy. It does have one now. It hasn't appeared because it's very thin, but it is there. I want to see here as well. So it's we're kind of making a very toxic-y Venus kind of design, but not as much on the carbon dioxide level that Venus would have. So you can see the atmosphere right now is quite low. So ideally, I want to get this up. So I'm going to put it to 1. So let's see. Is that going to let me do it? I think it's because we need a bit more. Because of the new simulated thing, we can't customize it the way we used to, so it does have to sort of sort itself out. So if I put it straight to 1, it's not going to like that, is it? So we need to give it a bit more atmosphere mass. So I still haven't fully learned the way of this system, I have to be honest, of this new system of way of adding things. I believe there is a feature you can disable that allows you to sort of just add stuff freely. I think it's link units. I think, do you switch that off as well? I'm not sure which button it is. There's a button where you can disable it, doing it automatically. I'm not entirely sure which button it is, though. I've lost it. Again, I have no idea where it is. I'm sure it was somewhere, though, where you could... I think it was this. Yeah, simulate efficiency from composition. So if you switch this on and off, that will mess you up. So I believe we want that switched off. So that's cool. All right, okay. Now, I think we just need more carbon dioxide, really, just to really ramp it up. So if we look here, we should see the habitable zone should increase as we add more of that. So let's see. Let it stabilize. And melt all, settle liquid. Is it vaporize all? That should make the carbon dioxide a little more prominent, I believe. Let's have a look at it. Oh yes, let's put it to 0 degrees. That'll probably help because we've learnt that from our other thing as well. So we should start to see it. A lot of that should, or is it? Let's see. So ideally I want it at 5 because I need that carbon dioxide to go into the atmosphere. So if I put it at 21 degrees and then add more carbon dioxide, that should all go into the atmosphere. Any carbon dioxide that is there. There you go. That should give it a nice 108 moons mass of it. Oh, how much is that in Earth? So 1.3 for the Earth massive. That's a lot of carbon dioxide this guy has. So that's really going to upset it. Okay. Right, how's it look underneath at the moment? Yeah, not looking too friendly, is it? So that's what it looks like at the very bare bottom. So atmosphere's all going on. I'm thinking more of a Titan kind of, yeah, more of a toxic-y orange kind of shade for this guy. So there you go. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to roll that. Oh, hang on. I really do like the negative contrast and things you can do on these, or the the ray light, the negative. That's really cool. Oh yeah, so this is going to be a very toxic-y world. Okay. Right, how are we looking here? Because I want more sulfur dioxide on it as well. I'm going to double this up a bit. Give it a real toxic-y kind of composition here. So not really your ideal place you want to be. Right, how are we looking on atmosphere here? Because this is the one thing I do want to get right. It's the atmosphere layers that we're going to need to increase to this if it's not going to work any other way. So how are we doing here? So I'm going to double these up. That'll give us the temperature we need, so you can see straight away. Remember, this is a planet. Remember, the system is very young at this point, though, so it's not going to be the way. It's not going to last like this for long. We're still in the phase 1 of this system, so the planets will start out cooler, and as time goes, they will warm up. So we don't need to build them in the state that we expect them to be, because they will naturally progress over time with the way these simulations work. So I'm going to leave that the way it is now. So it's kind of a foundation for a nasty toxic-y world. But it's not all the way there yet, but it will get there with time. So we'll give it a little more there. The surface colour itself is fine. I'm not going to do too much to that. The clouds, we're going to go with a thick and storm. It's already got them, actually. All right. The clouds are already very, very high. They don't feel that way, though. They look quite dim to me, the clouds. Well, they are fairly thick, I guess. Fair enough. Well, we did double thick, though. Make it a little more thick there. Okay, right. We'll leave them as white clouds, though, so you can see them. Atmosphere, will turn that up a bit. So it's more of a hidden atmosphere, hidden surface there. So, yeah, not a friendly-looking world at all. We've made quite a nasty design there, but we will see how that changes over time. So there you go. Give that an orange. Oh, look at this orbit here. This is the one that's got the wild orbit, hasn't it? So this guy is just a in a very, very bad place. So we'll definitely have to watch this one with interest, because I don't think this guy's going to last for long, I have to say. Once we really speed this simulation up and let things go, I really don't expect this guy to be around too long. So it's going to be a world that doesn't really have much going for it, as it is going to be having a lot of awkward positioning. So can we give it an atmosphere straight away? Let's see how this works. Oh, we can. Okay. So we'll give it a standard 1.2 ATMs, just a little atmosphere going on there. But I don't expect this world to have much action over a long period of time, because it's definitely not going to happen. I'm not sure about a blue, maybe more of a paler white shade, maybe something like that. Nothing too exciting, so there you go. Give it some clouds, though. It's already got them on there. Okay. Thin and fluffy, we'll go with a more thicker appearance, but it's kind of a frozen, desolate, well, kind of just a wasteland, really, this planet, so it's not going to be having much excitement, because its orbit's already been unstabilised, so it's not going to be having much action, I don't think. I don't think it's going to last long at all, I have to say. There's the world that had water earlier, so we're definitely going to see how that changes. I think the next two worlds, I'm going to try and give them a bit of water to live with, and we'll see how they cooperate. So with you, so if I add the atmosphere first and then add materials, so there's a standard 1 ATM there. Then if I start adding, obviously, the materials I want. So if I add some, it's got nitrogen as well. Okay, give you a bit of water. Oh my gosh, it's because it's kind of annoying it does it in the masses of Earth, I have to say. That is a bit annoying, so I'm going to lower that down. So it's got a bit of water on it. Oxygen will give you a bit of that as well. I think that's more of a... Yeah, ooh, oxygen, hey, nice. Then we need to equalise the phases, don't we? Equalise gas, stabilise phases, yes. I'm going to put it straight to 0 degrees. We'll let the simulation run a bit, just so we can get a bit of a... See a bit of things underneath. So what was that? So that's all the atmosphere right now. So a very thick atmosphere. Underneath, obviously, we want to give it some ocean level. So we'll turn the sea level up. So we've got to build them all from scratch. So we're going to give it all there. So give it a bit of ocean for later on in the simulation. Cool. We can turn the vegetation on for when it's habitable. So we'll have to see about that. Maybe we'll give it a bit of a colour as well. But for now, it's not going to be habitable at this point, because this will freeze. This will definitely freeze over time. So... it's definitely not far or close enough yet to be in a good position, but we can start to sort of turn these up. So just give it some colour at least. Give it quite a pale grey there, but this is all going to be frozen over for a long time. Maybe the watercolour will make it a little more interesting as well. Maybe something like that. But this will probably freeze, so don't expect it to look pretty for long, because once we run this, it will just disappear. We're going to lower this down for sure. Then we give it a nice sort of red phase to it, make it a little interesting. So there you go. Right, but that will definitely freeze over time. So we'll have to see how that plays out, because this is kind of an experiment for me as well. Because again, I've not done one of these in this update of the game yet, so I've got no idea how this is going to play out once we start doing the Star Luminosity and having all the new effects added in. So how's this one doing? So this one definitely had water earlier at one point, I believe. It's already got an interesting atmosphere colour though, so I guess we'll leave that the way it is. Give it a little more blue, I guess. Right, how are we looking on them? What does this actually contain? I'm sure this had water on it. It may have lost some of that water when we formed the system. No, it does have water on it. Okay. Interesting. Where are we? Where's the water level? Surface. Yeah. Okay. Has a very high sea level, so okay. It just hasn't emerged yet, the sea level. Very, very interesting. Because it's probably frozen, isn't it? Yes. If I put it to, say, 20, obviously that would change a bit. If we were, for instance, settle the liquid and melt all and settle, that's what it actually would look like at this present moment in time. So we'll give it a little more. So in the future, it will look more like this. But for now, it's definitely going to be a little more frozen. So there you go. All right. We'll switch the vegetation on, I guess, if it's hackable. We can obviously change these settings as well if we wish. That's part of this update, because the game has been updated now since we did the preview video the other day. So we're currently sitting in update 34.1 now, and I'll save while I'm thinking about it. Get that locked in. Looking good. Great stuff indeed. Okay. Now, custom colours. Yes, please. You can already see it's getting a bit of that hackable zone there, but that will change, because that's all. The planet isn't sort of figured out yet. Looks pretty cool the way it's looking though so far. It's only got a high elevation. Interesting. Guess we'll make that as a darker green for now. We'll see how we do with this planet. So there you go. So there are two potential Earth-like worlds for now, but obviously the star will need to increase before we see any sort of signs from these guys. So there's both of those. Next planet out. Over here. Let's try a methane build. Let's try that. So, composition. Add new materials, please. Thank you. Nitrogen. So maybe a Titan kind of kind of build here. So we're going to go with, I know, one Earth there. Oh wow. Okay, that's liquid nitrogen. Throw a bit of methane in there as well. Nitrogen, carbon dioxide, oxygen. A bit of carbon dioxide as well. 0.09. There you go. Oh my god, what have I just done? Oh dear. Oh, what have I done? Surely that ain't right. No way. Alright, yeah, I think that's a little more appropriate. That skyrocketed there. My god. If I doubled it. Or did it? I don't know actually. Ugh. I have no idea how this stuff works yet. I have to say, it's very strange, but there you go. So it's a very, very strange world we've got going on here. So we've got nitrogen, ammonia. We've got a bit of ammonia, maybe? A bit more. Oh my god. That can't be right. Surely not. It doesn't just do that. No way ammonia just suddenly made it do that. Really? 0? Really? Ammonia makes that much of a difference? Interesting. Okay. Very. What if I just do a little... If I do 0.1 of that. There you go. Just give a little bit of it in there. Give it a tad bit of water. Okay, adding water doesn't add that much greenhouse. No way. Surely not. But we'll give it a bit. We'll have a little bit of water on there, though. But obviously this one's methane is going to be the main attraction. Yeah, that can't be right. Surely not. Well, let's see how it does. So, that's a very darkened world, isn't it? Okay, interesting. Atmosphere's on it. There you go. Not sure what sort of colour to do for this. Maybe go over more... I'll go with like a pale greeny shade, maybe. Let's go with that. Clouds are on. Turn them up a bit. Have a bit of something on there. We'll have to see how this world progresses over time. It's got a very high sea level. That's probably why we're not seeing much of the surface. There you go. Right, there you are. So it's a weird, definitely a stranger design we've gone for here. But I'll be interested to see how the methane oceans progress. So, I always get mixed up with this. So it's elevation, then custom. There you go. Right. And colours. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. See how that does over time as well. Okay. So that's our innermost system done. Now we've got the gas giants. So again, I'm not going to spend forever customizing these, but we'll just add a few bands on. Give it a bit of a... It's like, just something a little more interesting. So, there you are. Okay. But just to show it's a normal sort of gas giant, I'm not going to give it more normal gas giant kind of colours. Let's paste those in there, see how it appears. So, here you go. Oh, stop closing, that's annoying. Oi. There you go. Not sure I like the brown. We'll make that a little more pale orange shade. Yep. And I'll copy that colour around a bit as well. Cool. Looking good. So just a quick little more realistic gas giant build. That blue needs to go, especially. There you go. It's not too shabby. I mean, it's not like crazy detail, but I think that will do. Make the yellow a little more prominent in there as well. Get rid of all the white. May have overkilled it on the yellow, mate. Make it slightly more. Make them slightly more. Just change some of the yellow shades a bit. Make them a little more pale. Get rid of all of that. There's the white. I wanted that white gone. Okay, so it looks like that now. I'll get. It's not the most appealing, is it? I have to say, I'm not too keen on it. May have thrown a bit too much yellow in, so we just need to pale out some of these shades a bit, I think, just to make it blend a little nicer. What's that middle band? Is that one, or is it this one? Must be this one. No, okay, no, it isn't. That's the band I was looking for. There you go. But yeah, it's quite a generic-looking gassy, really, isn't it? It's not nothing too mad. Maybe we'll darken some of them down. Oh no, definitely not like that. But maybe just pale some of them out, just to make them a little more deeper in colour, maybe. Just have a few different more bands representing it. There you go. But again, we're not going for the prettiest looking thing ever here, but I think we'll just stick with something like that. The North Pole, though, I don't like that orange there. Fade that out. Maybe even increase that a bit. Make it more, slightly more orange. Could be worse. Definitely could be worse. Make that a little more. Not too bad. I'll leave it the way it is. So that's the first of the gas giants. We usually give gas giants quite bright colours, don't we, so we know where they are. Next gas giant out. This is actually going to be the most dominant one. This is the one with the most mass. This is the Jupiter one, isn't it? Yeah. So, again with you, double it up a bit. I may try going for a whiter build here, but not like a full-on ice world, but maybe like a brown and white theme, and see how that blends together. Let's try that. See how we do. Again, it doesn't have to be the most customized thing ever, so we'll just go with something fairly basic looking, but that's really annoying that closes. I keep clicking out of it when I click out of these. Right, there you go. Again, it's basic, isn't it? It doesn't have to be extremely mad, so maybe we dim down. Yeah, oh, that's a cool colour. Yeah, I'm going to use that and replace all the whites with that shade. Sort of see how that... Yeah, I think that looks fairly alright. Actually, that looks pretty solid. There you go. Yeah, just very basic, but something like that. So it doesn't have to be exotically coloured. So there you go. So we've got the yellow and the orange. Next up, we've got some more Rockies out here, haven't we? So what's going on here? This one has oceans on it. I think it does. It's very dim here though, because this is very far away now. It's already got the water. You know what? I think that's a decent random spawn. It's got water, nitrogen. Oh no, it's not water actually. Okay. Okay. Right. So what we're going to do is 0.05. Add a bit of water in there. So it will have water at some point in the future once it all settles down. Sea level looks really high though. Barely see what's going on, but you can see it's got. Oh wow, okay. So that you can't really see what's going on. Interesting. That's why. That's more like it. So we'll give it a bit of ocean for in the future. But now that's going to be very frozen, this world. But it has got what it needs. It's got all the conditions. It's got water. Maybe a bit of carbon dioxide for later on as well. So we'll have a bit of that. Alright, okay. Oh, shouldn't have done that. Melt and settle. Somewhere. Where do the waters go? Oi, that's annoying. It's because it's not stabilised where it is. Oh wow, that's so strange. We'll come back to that because we can always edit it a little later on if we want to just make it look nice. But there you go. So for now, that's got everything it needs. It's very, very bland, but it is very far away from any of the sun's light. So we'll leave that. We'll see how that one does. That's a potentially Earth-likey world later on in the game. So there's that one. Next rocky planet out. I mean, they can't all be exciting, so we will have to have some default rocks in here as well. This one actually does have an atmosphere, but again, I'm going to leave it the way it is. I'm not going to give it too much. I'm going to give it a different colour at least, but I'm not going to have every single world just being crazy customized. We've got to have some more generic ones in here. So there you go. The same with this one. I'm going to leave that the way it is. Aurat, this is the first of the ice giants now, so we're going to give this guy a nice colour theme. A little more of the blues. So just random colours of blue. Make it quite an exotic colour. But again, it doesn't have to be a grade A looking gas giant. Go something fairly simple. It looks alright. No, lighter blue in the middle. Not too shabby. Next gas giant out. So again, this is our next ice giant. Give this one slightly more. So if I try a lighter blues at the top. I'm going completely random here. I'm just going to completely random sort of build. Maybe down here as well. And then the remaining colours I'm going to have is a very pale, deeper blues. So let's see how that turns out. Cool. Same procedure. Not so sure I like that. Looks too purple for my eyes, I have to say. Oh, that looks better though. Yeah, not too bad, okay. It's not bad. Slightly more greener look to it, but I'll happily roll that, that's fine. Alright, yeah, not bad. Make them a little more pale, just to blend the colours a little more. There you go, so that's the second gas giant over there. Cool, and then the last worlds, these are more the dwarf planets, aren't they? So we'll leave those kind of the way they have spawned in. We'll see how they do. They're very similar, some of these, aren't they? All very similar in appearance. That kind of shows they were made from the same materials, you know, in that region of the system. So that actually is quite consistent with they're all sisters. They all look very similar. There's a white one though. Okay, right, cool, right. Save, and now we can begin evolving our system. I'm happy with the way we got. I think that's a good amount of customization. There's your lineup. So, you know, they're not exotics. They're not all exotics, but that's fine. They don't have to be. So you got, you know, a decent list. They can't all be just crazy customized. I think that's a good lineup. And you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. But there's our lineup. So you can see here, the blue one here, it may not be the largest in mass, but it is the largest in radius. It's only 0.4 Jupiters, but the radius is a lot bigger than the dominant gas giant, which is here. Very, very interesting. Okay. I'm going to make you spin a little quicker. A gas giant like this. Hours. I'm thinking hours, you know. 15 hours, 7 hours, a very quick rotator. The ice giants, okay, these are very, very long rotation periods. I think the gas giants should be spinning a lot quicker than what they are. There you go, a little more action from them there. Here's our Venus-like world, takes 4 days to rotate. The Earth-like worlds, again, these all freeze over time, but I will give them at least more ELISA stats. They have very long rotation periods, don't they? What is going on there? All of them have really long rotations. That's very bizarre, isn't it? So we've got the more good-looking worlds. That's our closest planet to the star there. Maybe we tidy lock it. Could be interesting. Let's do it. Voila. Maybe we'll tidy lock some random ones as well. See how they behave later on in the system. Tidy locked for unexplained reasons. Okay, right. I think that's a nice lineup we got there. So everyone's rotating fairly nicely. What's this one? You can see it just about moving there. 5 days, yeah, that's not so great. Right, there you go. So I think I'm happy with the way everyone's rotating now, because remember, that does make a difference in this version of the game, that amount of light you're receiving. So there you go, replace, done. Right, now, no more, that's the customizations are locked in, and now we begin the evolution. So we can start evolving the star itself now. So let's speed up time. Let's see as things change. So we watch from the big distance away. Look at those orbits, because they are the key points of this. And we will see how things play out. Because we know there's going to be something happening in this inner system. There's definitely going to be something going on in there. So let's let things play. So you can see the system's fairly stable to begin with, but I'm sure over a long period of time that will change. And remember, in these episodes we can sometimes get stellar objects from rogue planets and stars that can fly in, which can upset the orbits. We will see. Okay, so we're running a good simulation time here. You can see it, things are staying fairly stable, but that inner planet, I do not see this lasting forever. I have to say, I don't see it. I think something's going to go wrong, but we will see. We will see. Let's get a lot of simulation running time in here. Let's let go as fast as we can. Get a lot of run simulation time. You can see things are all fairly not bad, even with the dominant gas giant in there. Everything's fairly comfortable. But with time, only with time, that's where things change. So remember, only the amount of time we've effectively run this for is very minuscule in the overall length of space and the overall length of age in solar systems. This is a very young system at this age. You can see it. Look, these other two having a little bit of the two blue orbits. They seem to having a little bit of an interaction in there. Very subtle little changes. Okay. But if we want to sort of provoke anything, we can also change orbital distances. Sometimes maybe an object will approach the star for an unknown reason and get a little closer. So in theory, if there's something going on, we can always make the dominant gas giant's orbit decrease a bit. It could cause a bit of trouble. So slow down time. There you go. Now, the first changes to the star itself. The star needs to get a bit older because it's still effectively in the proto stage. So we need to give it a little more life, make it bigger, more luminous especially. So we're going to slowly increase. Obviously the size is going to get bigger. Going up to radius of sun now. Luminosity, big jump there. But again, I'm going to give it a little more. Surface temperature is increasing, so it's now in its main sequence sort of stage as it's getting older. So there you go. Save. So now we can start looking at our planets and seeing is anyone receiving temperature, things like that. So first of the planets here, are we receiving temperature? It's only at minus 155, so we haven't yet received. The star is not yet bright enough to really give these planets a kick. Remember, this guy is just a basic rock. There is no atmosphere on it to give it any bonus. So right now it's not in the zone. Because remember, this is almost an AU away, isn't it? It's not the closest. 0.8 AU, so it is further away than Venus and Mercury are from our home sun. This planet, on the other hand, though, it's got a more toxic atmosphere. It is currently at 2 degrees. So it is warming up. That's what it looks like underneath right now. Very, very strange. Okay, we'll have to see how that plays out. Let it evolve, though, because I'm sure that's going to warm up once we run the simulation a bit. So with time, change happens. So 31, that's already past the Earth. Good temperature. So how hot will it go? That is the question. Oh, yes. Okay. Let's look back onto the star just so we can see. And actually, while we're running, what is going on over here? So these guys are at minus, I'm not surprised. They're too cold. So they're all going to be frozen for now. They're waiting their sun to warm up. So there you go. Again, before these guys are all going to be too far away. That's the first of the gas giants, isn't it? Over here. Okay. Interesting stuff. But there we are. So guys, I think for now we're going to leave it there. We'll continue on with episode 2 next week. So if you all enjoyed this, let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm very keen to hear your feedback on this system. I hope you all have enjoyed it. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, let's see if we can go for 300 likes on today's video, guys, for the return of Birth to Death systems. Again, they are so much fun to make, and I wish I could keep going, but I don't want to make the video too long. Others will be going for about 5 hours. So, you know it will be that long. We spend a lot of time doing these. So, yeah, again, like I said, hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like. If you haven't already as well, subscribe. Helps on the journey to 40,000 subscribers if you haven't as well. Really, really appreciate all your support. And yeah, guys, make sure you have a great day. Stay safe out there. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.